Greetings everyone. I hope you're all well. So today I'll be teaching algebra grade 12. So the first question we'll be doing is x squared plus x minus 12 is equals to 0, which is like 1.1.1, which is like 3 marks. So if you come upon like a question like this one, you know this is a binomial, so meaning that you have to factorize. You open up two brackets, you put your x's because it's x squared here. So you find the factors of 12. When you multiply them, they give you 12. When you minus or add, they give you positive x. So which will be 4 and 3. So the bigger number has to take the positive sign of the middle term, which the bigger number between the two brackets is 4. So it's going to be plus, here it's going to be minus. So now you equate each bracket to 0. You say x minus 3 is equals to 0, or x plus 4 is equals to 0. And then you transpose 3 to the other side so that you can find the value of x. X is equals to 3, or x is equals to minus 4. So in terms of marks, how they are distributed, the first mark will go to factorization, and then the second mark will go to the value of x, and the other mark also will go to the value of x, which you get a total of 3 marks. And then for the second question, you have 3x squared minus 2x is equals to 6, and then they indicated there to you that it is to 2 decimal places, meaning that you have to use the formula. Now you come back to this equation and then you put it in the correct format. You say 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 is equals to 0, taking 6 to the other side, and when you take it to the other side it's going to be negative. Now you write your formula down, the quadratic formula. X is equals to minus b plus or minus into b squared minus 4ac over 2a. It's equal to, you substitute your values, which is negative into negative 2 plus or minus square root of negative 2 all squared minus 4 into 3 into negative 6 over 2 into 3. And then you use your calculator to find the values of x. Negative into negative 2 minus into negative 2 all squared minus 4 into 3 to negative 6 over 2 into 3 is equal to negative 1.12, which is your first value of x, or x is equal to, you change the sign to be positive, which is 1.79. and then the marks for this second question, it's like 4 marks. So how are the marks distributed is that for correct substitution you get like 2 marks, and then for finding the values of x you get 1 and 1. And then for the third question is 1.1.3, which is squaring both sides. You have root of 2x plus 1, it's equal to x minus 1. When you come upon a question like this one, you need to square both sides. What you do on the left hand side, you also do on the right hand side. So open bracket square, open bracket square. The square cancels the root. You are left with 2x plus 1. It's equal to, you open 2 brackets and do a FOIL. We're gonna say x minus 1 into x minus 1, and then 2x plus 1 is equal to, you multiply the 2 brackets, which will be x squared, you minus the middle terms, which is going to be negative 2x, and then you multiply the outer terms, which is going to be positive 1. And then you transpose the left hand side to the right hand side so that you can equate to 0. You'll have x squared. When you transpose positive 2x to the other side, becomes negative, and then becomes negative 4x. And then the whole numbers which like for positive 1, when it goes to the other side, it's going to be negative, and then you'll get 0 equal to 0. And then now you take out the common term, which is x, into x minus 4. It's equals to 0. And then now you equate to 0, you find the values of x. And then in conclusion, after finding the values of x, that doesn't mean you're done yet. You have to go back to your calculators and make sure that if you have 0 here, the right hand side has to be equal to the left hand side, meaning that you're gonna say root of 2 into 0 plus 1. You find 1 for the first value of x on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side you're gonna say 0 minus 1. You find negative 1, meaning that x cannot be equal to 0. And then now you're gonna test 4. We have 2 into 4 plus 1, you get 3. And then we come back again, we say 4 minus 1, you get 3, meaning that this is the value of x. And then for the marks, it's like 4 marks. For squaring both sides, I think you get a mark. For finding the values of x, you get a mark. And then for factorization, you get a mark. And then 1.1.4, you have x squared minus 3 is greater than 2x. So now you have your equation. You can see there we have a coefficient of 2x, meaning that we have to take it back to the left hand side so that we can equate everything to 0. You have x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. And then now you have to factorize this. We know the factors of 3 is 1 and 3. So you open up 2 brackets, you equate to 0, you put in your x values, and then you put the factors of 3, which is like 3 and 1, and then the bigger number will take the negative side because your middle term is negative 2x. So meaning that here will be negative and here will be positive, and then you find your critical values, which x will be equal to negative 1 or x will be equal to 3, and then you drop back your signs. Before you drop back your signs, we know that the value that is lesser than between the two values of x will change the inequality sign, meaning that x negative 1 it's lesser than, meaning that this part will change the inequality sign, meaning that will be x it's lesser than negative 1 or x it's greater than 3. And then this question it's 4 marks, meaning the marks are distributed at the inequalities and for factorization and for critical values. And then now we come back to solving x and y simultaneously. So now we go to 1.2, which is x plus 2 is equals to 2y, and 1 over x plus 1 over y is equals to 1. In this case, we look at our 2 equations and we find the easiest one so that we can make one of the unknown to be the subject of the formula. So since here x it's alone, we need to separate it from 2, meaning that we need to bring x to the left hand side equal to 2y minus 2, and then you have your equation 3. Already they gave you equation 1, they gave you equation 2. Now you come back and substitute equation 3 to equation 2 because you made equation 3 from equation 1, meaning that we cannot substitute equation 3 from its original formula. So now you substitute your equation 3 to equation 2, which is 1 over 2y minus 2 plus 1 over y is equals to 1. Where you see x, you substitute 2y minus 2. And then now, since now we have denominators here, we can say our lowest common denominator are 2y minus 2 and y, meaning that everything here will be multiplied by 2y minus 2 into y. 1 multiplied by this, meaning this will cancel this, will be left with y, plus this will cancel, this will not cancel actually, it will remain, and then y will cancel y, will be left with 2y minus 2 is equals to, and then this multiplied by 1 will remain the same, which will be 2y minus 2 into y. And then here it remains the same because 1 can affect anything. So it will be y plus 2y minus 2 is equals to, here you multiply everything by y, which 2y minus by multiplied by y is going to be 2y squared, and 2 multiplied by y is going to be negative 2y. And then now we check the like terms, which like 2y squared minus 2y, when we bring positive 2y to the other side, it's gonna be negative 4y. And then we have negative 2 on the left hand side. When we bring it to the right hand side, it's gonna be positive 2. And we have positive y. When we bring to the other side, it's gonna be negative y. And then our equation is 2y squared minus 4y plus 2 minus y is equal to 0. We still have our like terms there, meaning that we have to say negative 4y minus y is going to be 5y minus 5y plus 2 is equals to 0. And then now you factorize, equals to 0, 2y and y. The factors of 2, it's 2 and 1. But you can see that the middle term is 5 there. So we have to make sure that when we multiply, we get 2. When we add and minus, we get negative 5. Meaning that 2 multiplied by 2 will give us 4. And then 1 multiplied by 1 will give us 1. And then 4 plus 1 will be negative 5. And then we'll equate each bracket to 0. It's going to be 2y is equals to 1, or y is equals to 2. Divide by 2 both sides, going to be y is equals to 1 over 2. And then we come back to our equation 3. We substitute y to find the value of x. This is equals to 2 into 1 over 2 minus 2, which x is equal to negative 1, and x is equals to 2 into 2 minus 2 is equals to 2. And then that will be it for today. Thank you for your time.